All right.
You want to start it off, bro?
Yeah. All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the only book club that doesn't actually talk about books. I have some big news today. We're going to be changing up the way that we do this podcast from this episode will be the way that we've been doing it in the past. Every episode after this will be a different format. We're changing to kind of the image that we had for this podcast from the start. And I think it'll definitely make this all like feel more put together and be a lot more entertaining. We're basically going to do what you would expect out of kind of a book club, right? We will pick a video game, most likely. It will usually be a video game, maybe sometimes a TV show or something. But we'll pick something and we'll let you know how far into it we're going to go. Just like how if we were reading a book, we'd tell you what page we were reading to. And then you guys can follow along with that. And in the episode, we will discuss what happened during those pages, if you will. And then at the end of the episode, we will tell you what the next episode will be. So you guys will be able to follow along the whole way through. And we have already picked what our first game is going to be that we're going to be getting into. With the new God of War game coming out and all of the fantastic reviews it's been getting, we wanted to go and play the 2019 PlayStation 4 release of God of War because neither of us have ever played that game. And that's actually the main thing about this is we're always going to be trying to pick games that at least one of us has never played. So we're going to be playing God of War and we'll be coming back to talk about it. I will... let you guys know where into the game we will be playing. And so you guys will be able to follow along. So, yeah. Anyway, let's get into the episode.
Yeah.
Did you have anything you wanted to talk about before we dive in? I want to talk about VR today. There's a lot of news in the VR world, but if there's anything you want to talk about.
Yeah, I mean, other than my journey to Tucson, which was really cool, a lot of old people there.
Retirement town.
That really, yeah, they don't really care what you have to say either, which is kind of funny. Like, you knock on their door, you let them know what they're doing. They're like, cool, well, just leave me your card. And I'm like, I don't have any cards, but you have a wonderful day. And then just walk away. But for the most part, like, it's actually, like, pretty nice. I mean, the palm trees are pretty dope. I really like how there's cactus, like, fucking everywhere. Mm-hmm. It's, like, I actually felt what a cactus feels like, which is, it's, like, it doesn't feel real. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, like a plastic plant from a store.
Yeah, exactly. But, like, you look inside of it, and you're like, okay, yeah, that's very much so real. Like, and, like, it's weird, because, like, there's, like, bugs that actually, like, eat inside, like, the core of the cactus, and you can see inside of it, and you can see the pricks of it just, like, in there and, like, touching each other. Other than that, no, there's not really much to talk about. I just wanted to let everyone know my journey of Tucson.
Hell yeah. Well, I beat Hogwarts. I know I said we weren't going to talk about it in this episode, but I do want to say it took me 50 hours, 2 weeks.
Was that including doing, like, all of the side missions and stuff?
Yeah. I'm at 51 hours right now because I'm still playing it because there's... Dude, I played it in the most natural way possible. I seriously just... It was like... I don't know, it's been a long time since I've...
Maybe could use a little bit more cream, but when it's too sweet, then it's nasty, and if it's not that sweet, then it's like still drinkable, you know?
Yeah. Sweet.
Try it.
Thanks, bro.
Try
Oh,
it.
sorry, bro. That's it.
Definitely iced coffee, like, you know?
Yeah, but I still like it. Thanks, bro.
Right.
There is not much
Sorry
more
about
G
that.
shit in this world than being delivered iced coffee in the middle of your podcast.
Seriously.
Incredible.
that
Dust
was,
off your shoulders. You're the G right now.
Oh yeah, no. Shout out to Maddie, bro. Lil Maddie, he go hard.
Yeah, but no, I played the game very naturally. I don't think I've ever played a game like this. Like it was very much just like full immersion. Uh, I don't want to go on a tangent, but I have a serious problem with not paying attention to games at all, which is actually, fuck, I don't want to go on a tangent. I'll say more about that in a minute, but I have a real problem with like listening to music while I play video games and just straight up muting the video game and just listening to my music or a podcast or a YouTube video or something. And I
Yeah.
did not do that for this game, not once. I couldn't. I played with my headphones on. I paid attention to the story. I didn't skip a single cutscene. So I've never played a game like that, like straight up. But this one, it felt it deserved it, and it was fantastic. The ending is going to have you quaking in your boots, dude. The last boss fight is so cool. Oh my god, dude. And the fight scene, like the battle scene, the whole like ending battle scene leading up to the boss fight. Oh fuck, dude. I don't want to spoil anything, but you're gonna fucking love it, dude. Oh,
Yeah.
it's
I
fantastic.
got a lot to catch up on.
Yeah, and you
But-
beat the game. If you played anything like I did, which it took me 50 hours to beat the game, which is definitely on the high end. I beat the game and I still, dude, I'm still overwhelmed with the amount of things that there is to do around the world. I don't know if I'll ever be able to 100% it, but I want to
You will.
so bad.
You gotta dedicate. You gotta be dedicated.
Yeah. But nah, Hogwarts is great. So I moved on from a third person open world, which I've been doing, and I thought I'd switch it up. So I'm playing Deathloop, and it's fucking awesome. It's so much fun. But that'll be for another day. We'll dive into Deathloop. But I did want to say this small little tangent. I think that the new format is going to be great for people who have a problem with finishing games. This is a problem I have, and so this is actually a way for me to resolve this problem for myself, and I figured that it actually would help other people as well. This will hold me accountable to actually finish a game that I start, because I enjoy a lot of games, but just get distracted with life and never play them again, and it bums me out. And another thing is, like I was saying earlier, I have a real problem with even just like following along with a game. And games aren't just about gameplay. And I know this because I've been really touched by video games. But it's hard to let myself be immersed like that. I'm always listening to music or something. And, so I
Right.
figured this would be good for people who want to actually finish a game and really follow along with the story. And also, this isn't super important, but I figured, who doesn't love seeing someone play their favorite video game for the first time? And that's what's going to be happening pretty much every single episode on this show is
Yeah.
someone out there, this is their favorite video game, and one of us will be playing it for the first time. So,
Which I'm really excited about because it's like they're gonna hear us like either saying good or bad things about their favorite game that they agree with.
yeah, and I
Okay.
think me and you
And,
tend
like-
to be pretty agreeable people. Like, I like things more often than I dislike them.
And the thing is like we're both very similar in that regard. Like I have a problem with finishing games too because I'm mainly like a multiplayer guy.
Exactly,
Like, I play
same.
shooters. I play like survivor games like Minecraft or like Forest.
Hmm.
And I also play like MMOs. And this kind of gives me the idea of like why story games are important in the gaming
But also,
industry.
this is our show. I don't want you to feel restricted. I don't want to feel restricted. I think we can do any game we want. If you want to do a survival game, if you want to do an MMO game, I'm just here to talk about games. And if someone's favorite video game is I mean, what's your favorite game right now?
My favorite
Yeah,
game
what
right
have you been
now?
playing a ton of? I know there's one game. I'm drawing a blank.
Well, last week I wasn't able to play a whole lot of video
Yeah,
games.
you were out of town.
I was just I was stuck on my phone playing this game
Tarkov.
called Summoner's
That's
War.
what I was thinking of.
Yeah, that would be one of my favorite games, but nowadays like it's hard to have that as your favorite game because they do changes very often, and that's not a bad thing. It's just some of their changes are pretty fucking bad. But I'd say right now my favorite game would honestly be Hogwarts, just because of the amount of content.
Oh, it's definitely
there
my
is.
all-time favorite game now. But
Oh
no, I
yeah,
just mean like someone might their favorite game might be something like uh Call of
like an
Duty
indie
or
game,
or
like Ultra Kill or some shit.
yeah,
Like,
or a survival game like Minecraft or something, and they are
hmm
going to be excited to see what someone thinks about playing it for the first time. I mean, it definitely does not need to strictly be single player story games. I don't want to limit ourselves. I just want to be here to experience great games. And,
right.
some games might take us 4 episodes to cover or whatever. And some games might take us 30 minutes to cover. And that's okay. That is one thing that won't be consistent about this show is we don't know what a game is about when we're getting into it. That's the point.
hmm
Uh,
Especially if it's a story game.
yeah, exactly. So there's going to be variation in how long the episodes are. No episode will ever go longer than an hour. If it goes over an hour, it will become a, a series, a part. There will be another part to that game.
hmm
So, yeah, I just don't want to be restricted. If you guys have any recommendations, yeah, I think it'll be fun, and I think it's a way for everyone to get involved. You
Yeah.
feel like you can get involved. I'll probably open up a Discord or something, and
Our
try to build a
goal is
community
to
here.
make it. Yeah, my goal with this is to make everyone feel involved and to have, like he said, a community to express their ideas and express their favorite games, TV shows, comic books, like anything that they have any interests about. Like
Yeah, that's what we're here
that's
for.
what we really wanted this podcast to be. Because lately, like it's not that it's bad by any means, but we could tell that like it's not super engaging. And
Yeah,
our
we just
goal
wanted
is
to
to
find a
make
way
it
to make
more
it
engaging.
exactly. Yeah, give you a reason to come back to the next episode, and I think this will be it. So,
hmm
um,
But what were you telling me about the PSVR
yeah, so that's what I was gonna say. Is let's dive into this
kind of
VR shit.
controversy?
Let me actually grab another beer, even though it's fucking what time is it? 10 in
Dude,
the morning. I'm
you're
on the opposite schedule.
dude, yeah, your 10 in the morning is fucking 10 at night. But um I think some things that we're gonna go over with VR
Zenith.
are Zenith.
Mhm.
Yep, Zenith.
Don't know how to pronounce it. It
Uh,
doesn't matter.
PSVR.
No Man's Sky.
No Man's Sky, because that's fucking huge. I wanted to play No Man's Sky on my PC, but because of my um, low budget setup, I don't really have access to that. Because a Quest, I don't know if you know this, going into your thing, like your, whatchamacallit, going into the Oculus
The
app and then like using the Quest link, it makes it run like
connecting your
such
Oculus Quest to your PC.
garbage. Yeah, it
Yes.
runs like such garbage when you
Yes.
do it off like the Quest link. And I feel like it might run a lot better with a cord. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Just cuz like it's like direct connection, like full latency kind of thing.
And so here's that. This is actually. Oh, sorry. This is actually a pretty good segue into what I wanted to talk about with the PlayStation VR. And this is a great time for like open discussion because I have not had this conversation with anybody yet. It's only my own thoughts, my own bias, but I personally think that okay, so the main complaint about the PlayStation VR, let's talk about this, okay? The main complaint is that it costs too much money, okay? How much do you think it costs? The VR headset.
My guess is around the same as like the console itself, maybe around 300.
You're
to
spot on with
400.
the console itself, okay? So, okay, you could buy a PlayStation 5 without a disc reader for $400.
Okay.
That's the price tag on that. And that's probably what most people do. which is a good decision. But
Yeah.
just for the sake of the argument, let's just say the PlayStation is $500 because they sell a $500 version. It's the version I own. It's the version my brother owns. Actually, everyone that owns a PS5 that I know owns the $500 edition. I'm sure most people
Right.
own the $400 edition, and it might just be my circle, but it's not like people don't own that. So for the sake of the argument, we'll say the PS5 is $500.
Mm-hmm.
And this is before tax. We're talking about straight price tag. And then the PlayStation
Right.
VR is $550. So it's $50 more than the console. Okay? So
But
what were you going to say?
let me get my 2 cents in. I feel like it's that much because of it being VR. Like,
Well,
the fact that it is VR and it is like, isn't it like supposed to be a little groundbreaking for
Huh.
PlayStation VR?
dude, it's pretty groundbreaking for VR in general. But listen, okay, first of all, just the main thing, we could really dive into it, but I don't want to say more than I know. But the one thing that's really groundbreaking here that PC VR does not have, and this is going to make it so that this gives the PlayStation VR potential to be the best VR headset with the best content available. Because the PlayStation VR has foveated rendering, which is where they track
Elaborate.
they track your eyes, right? They're tracking your eye movement. So they literally have simulated peripheral vision. So the vision that you can see what you're directly looking at, everything around that, they run at fucking the lowest fidelity. I mean, seriously, and it's crazy because, and I've never tried one. I feel like really I should preface with that. I've never tried one, which is why this all may be very biased. But I feel like I still can speak on this without trying one. But they say that you literally cannot tell. I've watched lots of reviews, and not a single person has said. In fact, most people say I am going to choose not to review this part of the headset because I have nothing to say about it. I can't tell when it's working and when it's not working. It just is working. And some games have it, some games don't. There's not a real great way to tell besides Googling it. So it's like, pretty much every reviewer is like, I'm not going to speak on this because I can't even tell if it's happening, which is a good thing. You don't want to know that that's happening. And what that allows you to do is only render the things that you're immediately looking at, which allows you to build massive games in VR. I mean, VR takes up so much processing power, but now that we can limit that processing power to a cone directly in front of you, I mean, seriously, animations can be cut down to 3 frames that you're not directly looking at, and your brain is not going to really pick up on that shit. They did a fantastic job of not letting you know that everything around you is being dumbed the fuck down. And that's fantastic. You're going to be able to play massive games and take games that already exist. Okay, I'm getting ahead of myself, but that's why it would be groundbreaking, is that one thing right
that
there.
technology
There's other shit, but
alone.
that alone is like, this is huge. And now the other big thing, going back to the cost of it, okay? It costs $550. Do you know how much the Oculus costs? The Oculus Quest?
Oh yeah, it's like 300 to 400, right?
You're wrong. And it's so fucked up that you're wrong, but it's crazy because you are wrong. They about a year ago upped the price. They basically like relaunched the Quest 2. Did a whole new advertisement campaign for it, and was basically like, "Hey, we didn't change anything, but we've increased the price of our headsets by $100. Sorry, but if you buy our headsets, now we'll give you Beat Saber for free." Which is crazy because now you're not getting Beat Saber for free.
$500.
Yep,
for
exactly.
the Quest
Oculus
2.
Quest 2 is $500.
Like the thing is like, but that's with the
256 gigabytes.
256.
Oh, hilarious! A PlayStation comes with a terabyte.
That's
A
crazy.
PlayStation 5 is built in with a terabyte. So whoop the fucking do, you paid $500 for 256 gigabytes, but the processor in that headset is still the same exact processor you have in your iPhone, and
It's not even the iPhone. It's an Android. That's the thing about it. It's run off of an Android iOS, or not iOS, fucking Android
OS,
operating
exactly.
system.
Yeah, it's absurd, dude. So yeah, not iPhone, smartphone.
And what's crazy is that they don't allow open source within the Quest, within Meta
oh yeah,
at all.
they crack down on it so hard.
Which is so retarded because like how the fuck, like why the fuck would you ever have games that have mods like in the game, like Contractors is a fucking prime example.
I know, exactly.
They have
what do you do on Contractors without mods?
They have a modding system in there, but you go to mod it, and if they fucking figure it out, like they crack down on you, like they ban you, they make it so you cannot use the Quest ever again.
Literally, they lock your Quest, hard lock your Quest. They can also do this if they find out that a 13 or someone under the age of 13 in your household is using the Quest to go on online games. They can hard lock your Quest for that. If you let your little cousin try out a game on the Quest and he happens to go over to Pavlov or something, that's a bad example. That's not on the Quest store. What's a game that
like
everyone
VR
has?
chat.
Yeah, VR chat. If they go over to VR chat for some reason, your headset can get hard locked. If they, for some reason, tell someone that they are 12 years old or something, that they are monitoring you like a hawk, and they literally just, no waiting, turn it off. And it's crazy because you just said it, you just Googled it, you didn't even know, and now you know the Quest is $500. And, okay, I'm saying that for the sake of the argument because you're right. There's a 128, and it's $400.
Yeah, there's a 128 that's 400, and then there's a 64 that's 350.
Oh, that's new.
Mm-hmm.
It
Which
used to only be 128.
It's the newest. It's the newest Oculus Quest. I think that's the one my mom got for my sister.
Okay.
But like,
and that
regardless,
can fit about
like
2.5
not,
games.
Let's be real here. That's not worth it at all. Like, I would much rather pay for something that is much higher quality that runs off its own operating system, like PSVR.
Now, but here's the thing: is that now people are saying, okay, but if I want to buy this VR and play this VR, it costs me $1,000. Do you agree? You just said it yourself.
I mean,
it runs off of its own operating system. We're giving it all this hoopla.
Now, here's my argument with that. If you wanted to get a Valve Index and you didn't have a computer, let's say that you didn't have a computer with that argument, because we're assuming that you don't have a PS5, and with you not having a PS5, you also want PSVR2, right? So altogether, it's about $1,000 to $900, right?
Yeah, $900 at the cheapest.
With PC
price tag, not including tax.
With the PC, if you're going custom built, let's just say that your custom build is around $1,300, and that's with like mid or low tier like parts.
I don't think a PC that's
like
at
2060.
I don't think a PC that's at $1,300 is going to run VR the way you need.
Okay, so let's maybe up the price on that around 16 to 1,500.
Yeah, I'll say that.
So with that, you have the Valve Index that costs $1,000, and that's said to be the best, even though it's really not.
No, the Valve Index. Hold on, let's verify. The Valve Index, I think, has been going down in price, but I'm just gonna double check.
They only had the price at $1,000 because of the
used. It's going for $400 to $600 is what I'm seeing. One's $800 right here. $800.
I think for the sake of the argument, we should just be using new.
Let me check the website. I just want to double check just to make sure. Yeah, you are correct. $1,000. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it is $1,000.
That's the kit.
So right there, that's $2,600 that you have to
you
spend
need
for
base stations.
PCVR.
Yeah, so $1,000. You're right. Holy shit. Wow, that's
So you
crazy.
Yeah, so you're paying
$2,600,
double,
$2,500.
double what you're paying for in PSVR
Yeah,
for
over double.
almost the exact same experience. But
Yeah,
a tad
literally the
bit
exact
better
same
with
experience. Now, we'll dive into another thing. We'll talk about the other complaint in a second because that's people that we're talking to would say, well, no, it's not the same experience because, but we'll get into that in a second. I just want to say one more thing. This is what I think ties this whole argument together. People would respond to this whole entire thing by saying, okay, so just get a Quest. This is all much more expensive than just buying a Quest. But you're saying that to the wrong people. Excuse me. The only people that would be interested in buying a PlayStation VR in the first place. It's a paradox. It's a catch-22. It's crazy. The only people that would ever be interested in buying a PlayStation VR 2 in the first place are people that already have or were already planning on getting a PS5. Seriously.
Right.
Seriously, think of one single scenario where someone's choice of VR headset would be the PlayStation VR. They've been keeping tabs on the PlayStation VR, and they're super excited for it to come out, and they want it. Think of one scenario where that happens, and they don't want the PlayStation 5. Nope, that'll be a waste of money for me. Literally doesn't exist. Every single
I don't
person, the people that the PlayStation VR 2 is marketed to are people that literally were already planning on getting a PlayStation 5.
Right.
Like, I already have a PlayStation 5. I bought one before they even announced that they were working on a new VR headset. Like, I've had a PlayStation 5. My brother had a PlayStation 5 from the moment it dropped. We are a PlayStation family, and it's a great console, and I was going to buy it no matter what. And now that they've released now that they've released a VR headset, it costs $550. Like, I already have my PlayStation 5. I was already going to have my PlayStation 5. You can't say that this is included in the cost for the VR because this does a million things more than VR, and your ass was going to use it for a million things more than VR. And another thing is it costs the same amount as the console, and you ask yourself, well, am I going to use it as much as I use the console? And no, you're not, but it's bigger and better technology. So you're spending less money on how much you're going to use the thing and more money on how cool the thing is going to be when you use it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So it makes sense to be damn near the same price. It's better technology, but you'll probably use it less. Totally makes sense.
And the thing is like, I don't know. PS5 already has its own exclusives. Like, you're not buying the PS5 just for VR. Like, that's a little ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like, you're getting a lot more exclusives from PS5 because that's their whole thing. Like, Xbox doesn't have any exclusives. They release everything that they release on Xbox Series X right to PC. And yeah, because but PC's Microsoft. It's still not an exclusive at that point.
Yeah.
If a PC player can play it on a PC and an Xbox, that's not an exclusive.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, you can make the argument, well, they're making like Spider-Man and God of War and all these games for PC, like, aren't those technically not exclusive? Right. But games like God of War Ragnarok or
old
even
generation.
the shittiest game, fucking Forspoken, isn't that only on PS4?
No, Forspoken's
PS5?
on PC now.
Oh,
But I think,
okay.
and so is
Well,
Returnal, and no one talked about it. If you've never played Returnal, what are you doing? Turn this podcast off, go buy it, and play it until you beat it. And trust me, you can beat it. It's possible. They didn't design a game that's impossible. You beat Elden Ring. You can beat this. Trust me. It's harder. It's harder than Elden Ring. I'm not even gonna fucking cap. I might get some flack for saying that, but I believe it in my heart. But
Yeah, no, I think it's a little ridiculous that people are saying that it's too expensive to get into.
Right?
Because, like you said, it's being marketed to people who already have a PS5.
or we're already planning
It's
on
not
getting
being-
one.
Yeah, exactly. Like, and the thing is like, dude, people drop $1,000 on gaming yearly, easily. Like, a new game, a new AAA title game
$70.
is $70. There is one released, like there's multiple games released within
Deluxe
the same
edition
month.
at $100. Oh my god.
Exactly. You buy 10 games for $100. That's easily $1,000 within the year.
And I always buy the deluxe edition because I'm a video game addict.
Exactly. So, like, you're still getting the most out of the product by buying the product and buying the games within that product.
Okay.
It is an
Perfect segue.
expensive hobby.
To our next topic, the next argument. The game catalog. Do you have any thoughts about this at all? Have you seen anything about it? Do you know anything about it?
Well, I do know that Horizon is getting a new VR port and that it is really looking good, and I
Wait.
want to play it.
Like,
Like Forbidden West, right? Horizon Forbidden
so,
West.
wait, no, Call of the Mountain. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah. Is that the new one?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
Dude.
getting a VR port, and it's looking really good.
I think it looks garbage.
Really?
Yeah. And I'm a huge fan of Horizon.
Well, I thought, because I remember you were saying that it looks really
Yeah,
good.
I
like
know.
The climbing.
Because that was before the game was released, and now I've seen gameplay trailers, and people have said how long it has taken them to beat them. There's been actual user reviews now, and I'm realizing, oh my god, it's the same. It's the same thing. We're traveling back in time. It's the Meta Quest 2 all over again. The release of the Quest 2. And all these just absolute tech demos as games. And this is not my final opinion. I will backtrack in a moment. But just looking at my initial thoughts, looking at the games that were on release for the PlayStation 5 or the PlayStation VR2, it's just fucking absurd. This Call of the Mountain game is 90% climbing. And even the people that liked the game will tell you that. It's crazy. It's crazy. And the thing is, I've done VR. I've done really good VR before. I know what VR feels like. The same goddamn climbing simulator we've had for the past 6 years is not going to impress me. The fact that you can hold an apple up to your virtual mouth and your character takes a bite out of it is not going to impress me.
Yeah, I already do that. I already do that shit in fucking Blade and Sorcery, bro.
Yeah, we are past this. We've been past this for 4 years. It came out 6 years ago. The modding got good. The games got good. I'm using that term vaguely. And it's been at a standstill since then. We've had this already. And it's so crazy to me that the game that they're bundling with their and the bundle is $50 more, $600. This makes me mad. This does make me mad. It's $600, and they give you a game that you beat in 6 hours. Ask anyone that's played it, 6 hours. Seriously, there's no
Jesus
way to make it
Christ.
last any longer. The game is so linear and such just a movie climbing simulator. You can make that game last longer if you hold on to each ledge for a solid minute.
So yeah, because I remember playing Horizon Forbidden West. When you brought PS5.
Oh, it's incredible. It's such a good game.
Yeah, and they have Zero Dawn on Steam, which makes me want to get it and play
Get it? I think we should do one of our shows about it, because I've never played it.
That would be a good
And I
idea.
haven't paid
Yeah.
attention to the story in the second game at all. Skip all the cutscenes. Classic Cade. Okay. So I literally don't know the story at all. So
Right.
I definitely think you should buy it and we should play it at some
Mm-hmm.
point, because I have it on my wish list and it goes on sale all the time for like $10, $8, whatever. So I definitely want to play it.
Right.
I maybe
But-
made a mistake buying the second one first and jumping into it. Excuse me, but like I said,
gives a fuck?
haven't been paying
gives a
attention
fuck?
at all. So yeah.
But I think it's a little ridiculous that they're going back in time.
Dude,
Excuse me. That
this
they're going back in
episode is
time
built
within
around
mechanics.
bodily noises, and we need to fix it. Shame.
Dude, I can't help it,
No,
man.
same. Dude, we're both out here just saying "excuse me" every time we start a sentence. Run
No,
it
but,
back.
It's just I think it's a little ridiculous that we're going back in time with mechanics, especially since we've been anticipating a really good game with great mechanics, especially with the bow. Like the bow is supposed to be groundbreaking for the Call of the Mountain or whatever it's called.
Well, just the series in general. Like there's nothing more iconic than dude, I don't even remember her name. Alloy. There's nothing more iconic than Alloy with her bow. Like, that's just the thing for the series, and it's literally just another fucking shooter.
Yeah, but I'll let you know when I'm done. Sorry about that.
No, you're
I came
good.
in again, but
You're good. But yeah, it's just another
repeat that
class. I was gonna say Aloy. I don't know. Dude, I literally have not been paying attention. Whatever that girl's name. Her and her bow is like the most iconic part of the series. Like that's what's on the cover of every game and on all that shit. She has the spear and she has the bow, and it's like iconic, and the combat is incredible, and the way she you collect all these different bows that work different ways, and dude, it's iconic. And then that game just gives you a bow and arrow. Like very
a bow,
simple.
arrow.
I heard that
and
there is
you
some
don't have any
elemental
upgrades.
arrows. There is.
Oh, okay. That's
But-
cool
but
at least,
they-
but that's not groundbreaking.
But they removed what was groundbreaking about the Horizon games in the first place. I mean, that's what I was gonna say is, if there's I love the Horizon games and they're so story driven, so that might confuse some people. But the combat is insane. Like such a memorable experience. I'll never forget fighting in Horizon. Like that game will fizzle out into nothingness, and one day I'll just catch myself thinking about, God, remember that game Horizon?
right.
The combat was crazy. It is
Nah.
something to remember.
It is pretty insane with its combat because
you only got a brief
you have
touch
melee.
of it.
Yeah, but with what I had, you sure you have melee, but most of it is with the ranged.
Yeah, and there's
to be honest.
traps, and it's not even just like a bow. There's like slingshots and tripwires, and there's like spears you can throw and all this stuff. And I'm just so bummed with what we got. It was a Horizon title, and it's spitting on the title that is Horizon. It's
Yeah.
unfortunate, but
I think games should have a relaunch with how shitty they launched.
yeah, we wouldn't care.
and have
We
it at
understand.
a half off discount.
Yeah, we understand. We wouldn't care. Gosh. But oh, excuse me. But no, what was I going to say? Oh, this is what I was going to say. The one thing I said I was going to pull back on this in a minute, and here's where I'm going to pull back is that's how I feel about the launch title, right? That is the title that is everyone's talking about. And it's the one that they bundled with the VR headset, whatever. Garbage. We've talked about that. But what isn't garbage is the games that have already existed that are working to upgrade their games into PS5. And this is where people need to really think about this. When you buy a VR headset, or when you buy any console in general when it first comes out, you are investing in the future of that console. You need to think about this when you buy a console, you are consciously saying that you're putting your money where your mouth is, and you're saying that I think that good games are going to come out on this console soon. That right?
Whether you're saying it or thinking it, like subconsciously, that is
No,
what's going on in your
I'm
head.
saying you need to start being aware of the fact that this is what you're doing, and it will help you
Right.
decide what console to buy. Is there really actually going to be good games that come out on this, especially with VR? This is very important when you're considering buying VR. And so that is a personal thing. That's something you have to consider on your own. Do you want to invest in the future of Sony? Do you believe in Sony to bring a good catalog of games? And I think a good way to determine this is to look at the catalog of games that we have for PlayStation VR 1. And it's good. It's a good catalog of games.
Mm-hmm.
It has all of the biggest titles. So, at least in my opinion, right? I said this is a very personal thing. You have to make this decision yourself. But that's where I stand. I think that I trust Sony to make this happen. And I'm already being proven right because there was an update, obviously unannounced, because that's how he does it with No Man's Sky, okay? I forget his name. But the guy...
Sean Murray,
Huh?
I think.
What?
I think it's Sean Murray.
Yeah, sounds...
No, wait, no, he's not. I don't think he's the director of it anymore.
No, that sounds accurate. But anyway, he's very cryptic, never tells anyone when he's updating the game, and then just updates it out of nowhere. And the day that the VR dropped, a massive update came out for the VR, and I actually would like to read the patch notes because I'm like, this is so good. It has foveated rendering, which is awesome. No Man's Sky in VR, seamless, no lagging. I mean, seriously, that's like the big thing here. You are going to get the most flawless performance. And it runs in 4K. It's going to run 120 frames. It is going to be so good. Like the most flawless VR experience you've ever had. I truly believe that. Sorry. No. My space bar does not work. It's crazy. All right. It's very nice. They summarize all of the patch notes into one little bullet point list at the end of their website. I appreciate it very much. Gosh, their website looks so cool. They've come a long way. Seriously, let's just appreciate that for a second. No Man's Sky has come such a long way. And it's almost been 10 years. But, okay. Anyway, I found it. So, I'm just going to read over these patch notes and we'll talk about it a little bit. No Man's Sky now fully supports PlayStation VR 2. There's a lot of games on the PlayStation VR 1, but they had to be updated by the developer to be supported on PlayStation VR 2. So that's something people are complaining about. But I'm like, the developers are going to do this. And it's going to be incredible. Like, just, you got to have faith. Sony has delivered so many times. But PSVR2 benefits from high-res display as well as high-quality textures, improved particle rendering, terrain tessellation effects, increased planetary details, increased draw distance, and much more. So basically what I was just saying, you are going to get the most visually stunning experience you've ever had in VR, unless you've used one of those professional VR headsets that are like a couple $1,000. Obviously, Sony can't compete with that at their level, but... All right, what else? Headset vibration, of course. The headset has haptics, so that's super exciting. When you are entering like an atmosphere in your spaceship, you're gonna feel like the rumble all around you. Oh, it's gonna be so much fun. Support has been added for the Sense controller. So adaptive triggers, the same way that the PlayStation 5 controllers feel, just the normal PlayStation 5 controllers, with the trigger resistance. Very exciting. VR players with higher res. Sorry, I'm kind of skim reading it to know if it's important to read out loud. Higher resolution headset now benefits from sharper UI. Okay, so yeah, that's the thing. Like, just this game looked like shit. That's why I'm so excited. I've seen this game in VR before, and it looked like garbage. So this is exciting. Just sharper UI, sharper everything. Place it more comfortable default distance from the eyes. Seriously, this is huge. If you've played No Man's Sky VR before this update, you will know that the screens are so invasive every time you open up a chest or anything. The play area boundaries are now far more lenient, reducing instances of the play area warning occurring unnecessarily. I did not know the game had its own boundary. I did not experience that. Fixed an issue that could cause shaky or inaccurate VR cursor positioning. It's great. It's just great to see. Dude, it's a massive list. Oh, a massive overhaul of the VR. Let's see. Hand controllers in position. Okay, so this is another thing. It was like a shitty port of a game to VR, right? Up until this update. So when you would use your tools and stuff, it wouldn't be your hands. It was kind of just like a laser would pop out of your hip to mine, or the shield would just be where it was, and that was it.
Right.
But now they've given you arms and hands, and so there's like shields and stuff go to where your hands are. You can aim your shit, dude. It was so garbage, and they've really put in the effort. It's incredible. Swimming controls, so now you have to swim in the water.
Oh, so you have to like use your arms to actually swim.
Mm-hmm. Completely changed
That's
the
cool.
base building experience, which is huge. That was
'cause
so
No Man's Sky had
so
shitty-
jank. Well, this is for VR.
Shitty base building. Right.
But in VR it was horrendous. You think it was bad on the controller? Oh, no, it was horrendous in the VR. Base building now correctly appears as part of the wrist projector. So yeah, so your menus are on your wrist. It's pretty cool. Base building in VR, so you have snap points and stuff. Now track the player's head position rather than the cursor. Very useful. Oh, excuse me. VR galaxy map experience and UI has been significantly improved. This is awesome because it's miserable. It's hard to explain these things if you've never experienced it, but if you've played this game in VR before, you will understand that it was miserable. You just didn't use your headset to travel between galaxies. You just didn't. You would only use your VR headset to play that game if you were going to stay in the solar system that you were in. It is now possible to travel through the Galactic Center in VR. I have never been to the Galactic Center, so I don't understand that issue. But VR specific issue that could block interactions after using a galaxy map. Yeah, just general bug fixes with the galaxy map because it was bad. But what were you gonna say? Something?
Yeah. What's good with Zenith, bro?
Yeah. That's another thing that just got a massive update that I'd love to talk about. But if you have ever seen Sword Art Online, this is that. It is.
Yeah,
it
literally.
Really, really is. It does
It's
it justice.
so fucking good.
It's
dude.
so much fun. So
like it's actually so good.
it is MMO. You go in. I don't know. I haven't noticed how many people are to a server, but if I probably had to guess, you probably have like 100 people to a server. It's not super big yet, but you go in. People everywhere fighting monsters. It's this massive open world, very fantasy. It kind of looks like it's the same graphic art style as Fortnite, which might be upsetting to hear. But it's not a bad thing. I'm not saying that in a bad way. It's it's just cartoon, plastic. I don't know. It's good. It feels right. It feels good. It makes sense. And it's very colorful, oversaturated, very anime is a better way to describe it. Because they're going for Sword Art Online, right? But it's awesome. There's flying. They added like dungeons and raids and stuff, and it's just like it's a fleshed out MMO in VR. It's awesome. And the combat, they actually did figure out combat well for an MMO. I was very confused with how they were going to do it. It feels good. It's hard to describe. It's mainly just like the direction of your slashes with your sword. We both are playing the melee attacks, so that's all we can speak for. But basically, it's like the direction of the way that you that you slash with your sword is like how you cast different abilities. Like you slash like to the right 3 times, and it'll cast an ability.
Right.
And they also have a thing where, just like in Sword Art Online, you can like make your blade like you can like
Charge your blade
yeah,
up.
what is I don't know
and
I
then
don't remember
use like a
it's
specific
called, but
ability.
yeah.
Me neither.
But yeah, basically when the
like-
blade like turns into like it starts glowing a certain color, and then you can basically like cast a really strong ability or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So it feels right, and it's very inspired by Sword Art Online, and it does it justice. So, dude, it's just awesome. Like,
Right now, they have 2 classes: the swordsman, the spellcaster. But within the new update, they are adding new combat, new life skills, which are basically like cooking.
well,
catching
hold on. Let's
pets.
just mention the combat thing or talk about the combat thing for a second. They're making it so blocking is directional, which is gonna feel so good. That's gonna feel so cool.
Oh yeah,
Blocking is now not just. It was literally just you press the button when they attack.
yeah. You press trigger and then you like hold it up to where they're gonna attack, and then they attack.
But now you have to swing your blade. It's a parry more. It's more like a parry. You have to swing your blade in the direction that they are swinging at you, and it's gonna feel awesome. I'm very excited about that. But sorry, go on. Didn't mean to interrupt.
No, you're good. But yeah, life skills, which include like cooking and like catching pets. That's so far what they have, but it seems like they're
chess.
gonna get a lot more.
They have board
Yeah.
games, but the only one is chess.
Oh yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they have all these different things that an MMORPG would have, right? Well, it seems like they're adding wood chopping, mining, and like some sort of like
There's a shovel.
a shovel. So like archaeology type of thing. Like you're finding like whatchamacallit?
I thought
like
it might be for
fossils and
planting,
shit.
but you also
Planting-
you sound more right, because if it was for planting, you would think that they would go the Minecraft route and give you like a hoe.
Yeah, because I mean, you need a hoe.
Yeah.
Like you can't just like dig up a hole and then put a seed down and then like
I would imagine that
Put soil
yeah, I
over
would
it.
imagine that's how they would go. So
yeah. But like yeah, they're starting to actually put a lot more care into the game.
did you
it seems
talk
like.
about? Did you say that they're adding a new class?
I did.
Okay,
The Cyber
yeah,
Ninja.
so the Cyber Ninja, yeah. So the first class is a mage. They just it honestly, no
the most
shade,
boring.
but it looks real boring. You just excuse me. You just are shooting magic out of your hands. So you probably just look like a zombie, like standing in your living room with your arms out. But we play the Blade Master. Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just like dual wielding swords. So just like heavy attack, just heavy on the attack, really. I went the tank. It gives you like a subset of options, and I'm like a Blade Master tank, and Seth is
there's,
a
like,
Blade Master damage. Yeah, which are just different
damage,
spells.
healer, and tank.
Yeah, it changes.
They give
the
you like
spells.
different spells and like spell sets and shit.
But but the new one that they're adding is going to be
Has a fucking bow. It's called the Cyber Ninja, bro.
bow and arrow. The new class has a bow and arrow, so I was excited for that. I was wondering when they were going to add that. That was the natural next step, was bow and arrow, because they have magic swords. So I figured they would add bow and arrow next, and they did. And it's cool because in the same update they added stealth. I don't. Did you say that?
Ooh.
I don't know if you mentioned that.
Yeah, I missed that. Okay.
Yeah, so that's excited. That's exciting. They added a stealth mechanic. I got to jump in and try it out. And this is all exciting because the developers updated. This update came out the day that the PlayStation VR2 came out, and it came out with support for the PlayStation VR2. So I disagree that there are a bad catalog for these games. I disagree. I think that, or for this headset, I think that there is a good catalog. Just it's not here yet, and I know that sounds stupid, but there's already my two I can't even actually think of another reason I would be buying this headset besides No Man's Sky and Zenith. I'm assuming that there are going to be awesome games coming out in the future, obviously. But right now, that's all I wanted to play anyway. And those are the two games that were updated on release of the headset, and it looks so good. They both look so good. Like full haptic feedback from the headset and everything. Like it's just gonna be so fun.
No, I'm pretty excited for the new update that's coming out because like there's a new class that is going to make it more immersive because now you're actually like engaged, like having to like figure out a new character and like how they work and like the meta within it. And they're also adding new combat to the game, like new combat rework. They're adding new climbing mechanics. They're actually also adding finger tracking for those who have Vive, like Vive controllers, or like controllers that are like the Vive controllers.
What do you mean?
Which is fucking sick.
I think the PlayStation controllers have that.
Really?
Tracking like the controller.
Tracking your fingers.
Like, from the controller, like, not like completely tracking your fingers, but like it can tell where your fingers are positioned on the remote and stuff. Like, is it?
Yeah,
like what we were doing
at
Russ's house. Was it that same kind of feeling when we were at Russ's house where you could move your hands kind of like in any direction and it would register?
Well, I mean,
like I could like hold up my middle finger in a game.
Oh.
Was that at Russ's house or was that a different VR headset I was using?
You were probably using the Vive, bro, because like the thing is like an Oculus controller doesn't have like you can't hold up the middle finger. Only in like certain games do they have like that mechanic. Like I know Gorn has that. Like if you press a certain combo, like you do the middle finger. But yeah, they're adding.
I'm wrong. Maybe I'm confused.
They're also reworking physics. So if anybody here plays Zenith at all, you'll know that if you throw out your ball, like your Pokeball, that's what I'm gonna call it. It's a net, but
it's
I call
literally
it
Pokemon.
Yeah, if you throw it out, like you can catch it. Like you can throw it up in the air, you can catch it, and like actually, and it won't like phase out of your hand like it does all the time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it was. I mean, the listeners are definitely not going to understand, but there was this weird issue where it would just kind of. I don't know. It was hard to recreate, but every once in a while it would just phase right through your hand.
Mm-hmm. It's fucking weird.
Yeah.
But
very, very, very excited for these games. I was going to build a PC, right? And I still am. But after much thinking, I've decided that I'm going to buy this VR headset first.
I think that would be a good thing for you because, like, you've wanted more out of VR, and this seems like
yeah,
it's gonna
and
give
I
you
also
more.
think that building this PC, it's going to take me a while. I don't have enough money to just build it all in one purchase. I'm going to be building it over the course of a couple of different paychecks, right? So it's going to take me a couple of months. And so I won't be able to use it until it's done.
Mm-hmm.
And that'll suck. How long did those technical difficulties take? Did you manage to check?
Probably like 5.
We'll
6
go.
minutes,
We'll go for 5 more minutes. It's no worries. But yeah. I don't know. Did you want to wrap this up with anything? You want to talk about what we're gonna be doing, and with God of War and everything. How do you feel about it?
I feel great, man. I like the new format that we're going after because, like, my idea was making it like a thesis. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, actually composing it in a way to make it sound engaging and interesting.
I think we should definitely
instead
do
of
that
like,
as a last episode. First, at least for certain games that we really love. If you want to tie it all together at the end, like we beat the game, there's no more to play, but we take an hour to just talk about the entire game as a whole and how it like affected us and stuff. You know what I mean? And really just
Definitely.
talk. Like I think that'd be great because I have that same idea as you. That vision. I know what you're talking about.
because like it's like, and explaining it like, because I like watching videos where like, especially like developer insights for certain games where like they're talking to another developer of the game or another person that is also working on the game, and they're explaining the mechanics and like the gameplay to the person as if they've never played the game, right? But obviously they have because they've been working on the game. It's just they make it sound like they've never like touched the game, right? I just kind of like that aspect of like where we're taking it is because like we're making it sound more engaging,
Yeah.
making it genuine,
And
not just shooting the shit.
yeah. And I know we talked about this already, just me and you, but it's just video games. There's not really going to be much revolutionary shit we can bring to the table. But like I said, I just want to, or like what we were talking about earlier, we just want a good community, a good place to talk about things that we're passionate about and that we love. And yeah, I just think it's really exciting to see people try things for the first time that you really love. Like, I think that will be something that will really pull people in. I know that I would love that. I love showing people movies for the first time or telling people to play a good game for the first time and having them come to me and be like, you were right, that was crazy. And I think me and you are going to really have a lot of that, which I'm excited for. We came up with God of War together, but the next game, come up with one. Put me on. I'll buy,
Yeah.
we'll buy games. Obviously we're going to try to, keep it budget. Because that's the main thing here. That's the main thing with this podcast. We keep it budget, and it may sound like I don't, but I'm telling you, the only thing I own is computer. So, like, if you're like Seth, you got a low budget PC. If you're like me, you got PlayStation 5. That's it. Like, I
Right.
don't have computer. Sorry, I misspoke earlier. Computer, by computer I meant electronics. I don't buy other
Right.
shit. My car is shit. My everything else is shit. I just buy electronics, and my thing is PlayStation. Seth's thing is computers, but it's low budget.
You're-
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a pretty low budget. Like I only have a 1650 in this bitch, but like a really nice processor.
And so I
for
want
free,
to be able
so.
to, have a community because I feel like there's not enough of that. There's not enough people. Every time I go online, listen to people have these kinds of discussions that we're having. They're talking about their 3090 Ti, and I'm like, bitch, I don't have $1,200 for a graphics card. I'm sorry.
Seriously, this is like supposed to be a super welcoming community.
Mhm. Yeah, and that's
obviously,
another
I'm
thing.
gonna
Let's
get
not be
my
rude
upgrades
ever
when I
in the
want to.
comments. I know we're gonna be posting this shit up, and we're gonna be sharing our opinions about games that people might feel really passionate about. But remember, we are all our own people, and sometimes some people don't like the games that you like. If we play a game, and our opinions are that it's shit, it's because we think it's shit, not
Yeah.
you. That's all.
That is all. And with that, I think it's a good time to wrap it all up. We're excited for where we're taking this podcast, and we hope that you guys enjoy all of the new upcomings between me and Cade, because
And I've
got
never,
a lot of ideas and plans in the future.
yeah, and I just want to preface this. Neither of us have ever played this God of War game. And if anyone was still listening for this part, I'm going to add in post right about now where we're going to be playing till, because I need to ask around about what the missions are so I can divide it up, because I don't want to spoil anything, but I want us to be on the same track. So that'll be right about now. Thanks.
Yeah, I mean, see you guys.
Yeah, see ya. So if you wanted to follow along with God of War, we will be playing up to Inside the Mountain. That's all the missions before it and stopping when you reach inside the mountain. Thanks.